Hi there guys, Vino here and welcome to this Vino Plunk production. So I've just got done watching a video from RazerwireReviews, Luke, who did a video where he has bought the Alien Anthology Blu-ray collection for a second time because he lost a couple of the discs in that set. He then presented a question to the audience and they said, has this ever happened to you guys? Have you ever double dipped on something because you've misplaced discs? Or have you have discs just gone missing? Now, he did say the whole, you put a movie in your Blu-ray or DVD player, you're feeling a bit lazy and you don't put the right disc back in the right case, so you put the wrong disc back in the wrong case, and you do that 10, 20, 30 times over, and then, that disc is shuffled well into your collection. It's funny actually, because doing the whole Blu-ray roulette at the moment and shuffle it into your collection. Actually, Luke, if you're watching this at the moment, you got your Blu-ray roulette thing coming up. What happens if you can't find a disc? Anyway, so there's a very specific set in my collection which this happened with for a long time, for years even, and it pained me. It really pained me. One of the reasons why it pained me is because I didn't have the money to rebuy this set, and this set is long out of print, and on eBay goes for upwards of like £200-300 or whatever it goes for. I will say at this point, when I show the set off, be very wary of fakes. I'm going to say that throughout this video and say be extremely wary of fakes on the set. But the set I'm talking about is the 2009 Beatles Stereo Remastered box set. This is one hell of a set. It's funny because in Ryan, why do I call him Ryan? In Luke's video, he said that this is actually quite dusty and a bit mucky because it's been sat on a shelf for literal years. In Luke's video, he said that the Alien Anthology is the gold standard when it comes to Blu-ray releases, and he's right. I've got that set, I wouldn't say 3 times, twice. I've got the UK and the US release. This is a gold standard when it comes to CD box set releases. This was very much, on the map and set the bar for a lot of other box sets to follow, including the mono box set that I've got over there. There will be a revisited video episode on this at some point. So this contains all of the Beatles albums, all of them, remastered in stereo. Because back in '87, when they remastered the Beatles into stereo, it was done archaically. Of course, roll on however many years, technology has increased, and Sir George Martin really wants to go back and do these albums justice, and he did with this set. This is a painstaking project that he undertook. Obviously wasn't by himself, but he's the pioneer of the project and did a fantastic job. For the longest time, my Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band CD was missing. Now, you can buy these separately, you can buy each of the albums individually, however, they're not the same as the ones in here. So the initial run of the albums and the initial runs of this box set, each of the albums contain a mini documentary. If you were to put them into a PC disk drive, you would notice there's a media element, like a video that you can watch. It's not like a 2-3 minute documentary on each of the albums. Just a little thing about the album, bit of trivia, that sort of stuff. But when you've bought a set and you've spent £120 on a set, which I did when this came out, and you've got one of the first runs, because what they then did, they separated off those mini documentaries onto its own disc, which is actually in here, I do believe. I think there is a mini documentaries disc in here as well, but you also get them on the album themselves. So I suppose it is a little, it's an extra for those that, it's an extra for those that buy the first run of the CDs in the shop, because then after the first run you can't get that many documentaries without buying a set. But I have them both on the CDs and on that individual DVD, and of course that DVD you can slot into any DVD Blu-ray player and it will play it just fine as if it's a DVD. But these CDs you have to put into a computer of some description. So of course, knowing this, I wanted to have that Sgt. Pepper's disc. So when I was looking to maybe rebuy that album, I was looking through eBay, Amazon, and the thing with it is there's no way of easily telling whether it's going to have that documentary on it. There's no way of telling. There are some people that put it on eBay and go, yeah, it's got the documentary on it, but then they want 40, 50, whatever quid for an album. And that's a lot of money for an album. A number of years ago, I was clearing out a little bit and pulled out a box. Now, I've gone through this box, gotta have been 20 times. And I never, ever noticed until that point, there was a disc lodged down the back of the box. I'm like, oh, that's a bit weird. I bought the box off of a friend, so I thought it's a Commodore 64 with games and accessories and stuff like that. So me thinking, oh, maybe it's a... Now I'm thinking of it, I was like, maybe it's a PlayStation 1 game. PlayStation 1 games have a black bottom. They didn't have a black bottom. Anyway, I'm thinking maybe it's a game on some description. So I dig it out, flip it over, and immediately a cocktail of emotions comes flooding over me. And I'm like, oh. It was my Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band CD. Unfortunately, a bit scratched because it's been in that box for however long. I've gone through that box without realising that the disc is in the bottom somewhere. The disc works, by the way. This works fine and it still plays perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with its playback. It's just frustrating, and it was so frustrating. And it also was a relief when I found it. But then what started happening is my brain started doing somersaults of, how did it get in here? I'm thinking I must have played it on the stereo system that's directly above that box. But there's me thinking, I distinctly remember putting it back in its case and putting it back in the set. I've been very careful to make sure these CDs go back where they belong each time, because, you know, I can be guilty of putting them back in the wrong place, leaving them in the stereo system or the DVD or Blu-ray player, and I'm like, I'm just trying to keep this set as complete as possible. I'm going to avoid doing this, and there's me going, how on earth did it get in there? And how on earth have I not noticed it until now? Is the other question I kept asking myself. But nonetheless, I found it eventually and managed to make this set complete again. Because, I don't know about you guys, but the more pricier the set, especially when you're able to buy a set because you've gotten a bit of extra money. I got a bonus, or did I do overtime? Either or. And I was able to afford this set. Really wanted this set. I got it in 2011, but it came out in 2009. I may have gotten it in 20. It doesn't matter when I particularly got it. But when you when you punt for a more expensive set and you're trying to keep it in the best condition possible and as complete as possible, and then you, for whatever reason, something happens, it still pains me, to be honest. It still pains me here and there. I have thought about in the past buying the album just to have a good copy, a non-damaged copy, just in case. And with that, my camera is flashing a battery symbol at me, so I probably should wrap this up quickly. Sorry for this very quick wrap up, but thank you very much for watching this video. Please comment down below if this has happened to you, like, dislike, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ra, guys.